We need to get a dating expert as a guest to talk about like tips and tricks on how to get some ERP in VR chat.
What's ELP?
Erotic roleplay. This is Serious News One, so yeah, that's what we're dealing with at the moment. But hey, that is okay.
So,
Right.
then, I'm going to try to visualize this meme with Toronto voice chat. Visualize this meme with words because we haven't figured out ways to post it up yet. But essentially, it's a picture of, you're a guy and you're snuggling up next to a girl in VR, and in reality, the bottom half, the guy just has a VR headset on and he's crying. Oh,
Yeah.
he's got me again.
We need to get a dating expert as a guest to talk about like tips and tricks on how to get some ERP in VR chat.
What's ELP?
Erotic roleplay.
Dude, yeah, it's it was Cyber. What happened to Cyber? That's such a fun word to use. I miss Cyber.
Yeah.
ERP makes like these. There's so many acronyms now. You have ASMR.
Speaking of ASMR, the Federal Reserve has been running their money printer thing. So now they're really happy that the money printer goes burr. Despite the massive inflation that this is going to cause, we're now having evidence that the Federal Reserve is actually the #1 consumer of YouTube's ASMR content. They're actually now no longer just subsidizing it, they're actually directly producing ASMR of their own.
Finance ASMR.
Yeah, it's a financial ASMR situation brought to you by the Federal Reserve.
That makes me feel better about our stock that I bought.
Taze is gonna go ahead, get a quick haircut. We'll be right back. Yeah, a lot of companies are slowing down too. There is that. iDubbbz, his girlfriend now has OnlyFans account.
You can't control what other people do. Like, yeah, she could be angry about it, but after being angry about it.
If you're a fan of iDubbbz's girlfriends, go to manyvids.com and use promo code VRNews to save 15% on your taxes when you underreport your income.
Or comment down below. Let us know what you think. I don't feel that he should be mad. More so than I just feel bad for the guy. I know of iDubbbz from all these Sophie Frank videos.
I just heard about iDubbbz that he's the content cop. So what he does is he reviews other people's content by dressing up like a police officer and showing up and filing reports, and then people can collect insurance after property has been damaged. Because he's a cop, and that's what cops do. I imagine he works closely with the content insurance agents, as well as the content district attorney.
Is there a content post office manager?
Yeah, I think there is a content postmaster general who is they handle tech support complaints for YouTube and also delete things whenever you say it. Astartes Part 5 has just been released, and what we're all about is a banned movie about Warhammer 401k, where they're in space and you have these...
You just said, give me like just 1 minute. You just said 4 things that I have no idea what it means. That's what Warhammer. So, it's like a series of YouTube videos?
Yeah. So like 5 years ago, they started doing like this fan project where they release 3-minute video every like 7 months. After that, they'll wait another 7 more months and then release another video. And each video is about 3 minutes long. It's probably because the videos are so high quality production that it uses up their entire budget. So they have to wait a long time before they can make the next 3 minutes. So this latest episode features the main character Astartes running in there and rescuing C-3PO, and then a bunch of guys like have to fight Magnet, and then you get to see someone's face. You know, they have a face reveal in this episode. So yeah, he's one of those lone survivor-esque characters, because there are still some other characters that are still alive. I don't think they're going to be alive by the end of the series, but there had like entire squad's getting wiped out, and he's like still surviving, even though the bad guys are shooting bullets at him and stuff like that.
Warhammer.
Yeah.
Is that like Warcraft? There's a little bit from the world of Wii. Are you aware of the YouTuber Salma?
What?
Okay, talked about this in the last episode. There's a little boomer girl who got super popular on TikTok. And
Yeah.
this news was all about her all of a sudden. She got like following Twitch. And the moment she revealed her boyfriend in real life, she lost all of her following. And apparently that was a big deal. Everyone that's a man is popular
So basically, this also, you said, coincided with simp explosion, where the number of simps on the internet has increased exponentially. However, given that she had started losing fans after people found out that she had a boyfriend, I think that this is more of a simp implosion.
Can we talk about Kenneth Kugel?
Who's Kenneth Kugel?
He is a billionaire church pastor who's like 83 years old from Texas. And recently, clips of him essentially smiting the coronavirus are popping up. And he's basically telling everyone, despite the fact that there is a pandemic out there.
So Kenneth Copeland is this freaky looking dude with like a weird goblin-like face who preaches people pay tithes, which is money given to the church, despite the fact that there's a pandemic. And the way that he, solves a pandemic is essentially just to pray it away. He goes on TV and basically yells at the virus. He yells at you in the name of God and tells the virus to crawl on its knees. When this pandemic goes away, we have him to thank because he basically yelled at him. So I learned about him from an earlier video of him having a conversation with yet another billionaire mega church pastor on like a little kitchen table, having a cup of tea or some tea of why they need yet another private jet. And basically when they fly on, regular people, airplanes, they fly with a bunch of demons, and that affects their holiness. I shit you not. That's like a meme now because his face of saying demons, that's classic.
What if we take the memes from the past and use them to fight the current public health issues, such as
meme
Tide
it all the
Pods?
way.
Yeah, what if Tide Pods actually can defeat the current public health issues?
I'd be stocking on Tide Pods. My roommate has some. Currently, my roommate definitely has some Tide Pods around.
We could develop these red Ugandan Knuckles hazmat suits, and they could be the Tide Pod team that would be going around treating the current public health issues, so that this whole situation of widespread current public health issues can have its curve flattened. There actually is a bunch of schools releasing notices to parents telling them not to homeschool their children and to only spend time with them. Because if the parents started to homeschool their children, they kind of realized that the teachers are not actually necessary for teaching the children, and that they're kind of just being redundant. At that point, when the teachers are redundant, then they won't have the access to the children that easily. And
really, they sent out these
teachers,
notices, like they basically tell them not to like school the kids. Like if you have something to teach your kid that's useful, like don't teach them. Like by all means, do not teach them.
a lot of like the smarter pedophiles, they will get jobs as teachers or as FBI agents so that they can have ample access to kids or CP. Because as you can see, a news article from 2016 has stated that a good chunk of CP websites on the deep web are hosted by the FBI. Now, I think the situation is that the smarter pedophiles generally tend to get jobs at the FBI. It's kind of like in that anime Psycho Pass, where if you're a latent criminal, you have to work for law enforcement to arrest other criminals.
And now you're on a blacklist for giving CP loving people ideas. In the current state of affairs, at least the not so widely seen advantage is that pedophiles probably will not be out and about.
The schools are closed, so they can't even infiltrate the schools by becoming teachers.
Man, that guy who hides behind the bushes in front of that kindergarten is having such a hard time right now.
If the schools are closed, then there's no kids walking by the bushes. So the Bushmen are at a disadvantage right now.
The Bushmen are at a disadvantage.